Today on Marketing Update, the creep factor goes through the roof. Facebook getting a little more stalky, Orbitz doing really creepy stuff, and Fox News, of all places, starts an online women's magazine. All this and more on Marketing Update.
Welcome to the Marketing Update, your trusted source for what's hot and what's not in the world of marketing. I'm Ellie Mirman.
And I'm Andrew Quinn, and we're coming to you live from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Fantastic audience today, Ellie.
We do have a fantastic audience today. It's pretty huge, actually.
We're going to do our best not to let them down.
I don't know how we'll do about that. All right, a couple of the housekeeping items. Of course, as usual, tweet at us. The hashtag is MKTGUp. During the show, after the show, we would love to hear from you. Maybe we'll incorporate your tweets into the show. Every Friday at 4, please come by. We've got a live studio audience. We'd love for you to participate. In fact, we have a couple of guests here, and by a couple I mean like dozens.
We have the GEP students from Babson here. Big round of applause for them. Yes, absolutely. And we have a significant group of Chinese exchange students here all the way from China. Yeah, welcome. Ellie, let's get down to business, shall we?
We shall.
Not monkey business, but marketing business.
Our first story.
Yes, indeed. Facebook unveils a little stalking app. It's quite odd, very quiet sort of rollout. Facebook actually introduced this app in a very sort of subtle way, and it's called Find Friends Nearby. And you could find it at one point at fb.com/FFN. What was interesting about this is anybody that had the app on their mobile device could essentially go into any location and see everybody else that was in that location and their profile, which at first you're like, hey, that's kind of cool.
We could see each other's.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like we could be sitting right here looking at our mobile phone and going, hey, there's 30 people here that all have the same app and I can see all their profiles. But then if you're a creepy, stalky guy, which I'm not like that at all, you know, things can get a little weird.
Suddenly we've got like the random guy like following crowds around.
Right, exactly. Well, I kind of think, all right, let's say I'm out, Ellie. I'm at a restaurant. Nice place. I'm sitting here with my wife having a lovely time. Some hot woman across the way looks at her app, notices my picture, and says, look at that guy. And
I gotta go introduce myself.
Exactly. She walks by my table and she goes, hi, Andrew. How do you think my wife reacts to that?
How do you know this woman?
Exactly. And then what do you think my answer would be?
I don't know who she is.
And her response would then be?
I don't believe you.
Exactly. And I'm totally hosed.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, I think this app is really not a good idea. And what's interesting is I think Facebook thinks so too, because as quickly as it went up, it's now disappeared. WiredMagazine.com actually had a comment about that from Facebook, that some engineers were testing a few things. They did it live, kind of see how it would work, and then they brought it down. We're testing things all the time, so nothing to really see here. I think the stalk factor was through the roof, and a couple of people were like, yeah, make that go away.
Yeah, Facebook keeps trying to release like one creepy thing after another and like trying to figure out what's the line, how far can they push it, and then every single time people freak out and pull it back.
Very simple, straightforward marketing takeaway from here. Just plain and simple, don't be creepy. People don't like it.
Yeah. All right, keeping with our creepy theme, this story comes from the HubSpot blog about Orbitz. So Orbitz did some research and found that Mac users who visit their site end up spending more on hotel rooms than PC users.
Of course they do.
Those are the high-rolling Mac users,
right,
of course. In fact, Mac users spend about 30% more and average $20 to $30 more per night than PC users.
So they like the more she hotels, if you will.
It's true. And they're also 40% more likely to book a five-star hotel.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, last week on Marketing Update, there was a story about iPhone users.
Yes. Also,
those that were in the audience or watched the broadcast would know that iPhone users tend to involve their iPhones in certain extracurricular activities.
Hotel room activities.
Yes,
perhaps.
exactly, or bedroom activities, if you will. So I'm wondering if they spend more on their hotel rooms so that they can have more expensive activities with their expensive phones.
They're just high rolling across the board.
Right, exactly.
That's true.
It's all about quality, if
Yes.
you will.
So what did Orbitz do with all of this interesting information?
I'm guessing tried to make money.
It's true. They tried to make even more money than they were already making from Mac users, and they altered the search results. So the first page of search results that you'd get if you were on a Mac was more expensive, had more expensive hotel rooms than if you were visiting on a PC.
PC users cheap, Mac users willing to spend anything,
Yeah.
and Orbit's capitalizing on it.
Yeah. So the Wall Street Journal did a test, and they looked for, I think it was a 2-night hotel stay in Miami Beach on a Mac and a PC, and found that when they searched on the Mac, they had overall 11% more expensive hotels.
Wow.
So interesting. And so instead of a marketing takeaway for this story, we actually wanted to pose a marketing question. You know, Orbitz is taking this information. Is it smart of them or creepy? You know, they're trying to customize the results, personalize it based on what they've seen Mac users do. Is that a good use of that information, or are they really just trying to squeeze more money out of the people visiting their site?
I vote for the latter. I think
Yeah.
it's a capitalist move, which I can't fault them for that, but it is kind of on the creepy side.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what the Twitters say.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
So going from sort of the darker side of things to the brighter side, it is time to rejoice because Facebook, in fact, is now going to allow you to edit your comments. Because if you think about it, you'd make a comment if you had a typo in it or said something that you regret, that's it, it's over. Once you hit comment, it's there. So what they're allowing now is the actual ability to go ahead and alter the comment. There is a caveat there, though, because they're going to allow the history of the comment to be seen. So if you did say something that you regret perhaps a 3 a.m. drunk comment while you're in a hotel room that you bought expensively off of Orbitz on your iPhone or whatever it is.
Can't take that back.
Can't take that back. Or you can, but all they got to do is just go back into the history and see that you were really doing something that you probably shouldn't have been. You know? So with that said, in a lot of ways, I think from a marketing perspective, there's a pretty good takeaway in that. I don't think you need to be as worried about having everything absolutely perfect when you do your comment, because if you do something a little bit wrong, you can certainly get in there, make a quick edit, and be happy about it. So just some good news from Facebook on giving you a little more flexibility.
A nice addition that people have wanted for a while.
I'm happy about it, because I mistype everything.
So on our Facebook thread, Facebook gains 2 big advertisers' support. So this is a follow-up to a story we covered a couple of weeks ago during the Facebook IPO.
When the sky was falling and everyone was pulling their ads from Facebook.
It's true. So it's a big story around GM, and they were pulling their advertising. They said it wasn't working, wasn't worth the money. Well, this week, 2 big advertisers, Coke and Ford, said separately that they were, you know, that Facebook advertising is working and that they were actually going to be increasing their advertising on Facebook. So they're saying that it works.
That's good news for Facebook. How do they know that it works?
The thing is, so it's funny because I would think that a big brand would, you know, show some numbers, show how it was impacting their sales, but the quote in here from the Wall Street Journal was Coca-Cola marketing chief said that Facebook ads probably help drive its beverage sales. Probably? Really? That's the strongest you could come up with when you're like pledging support and or endorsing Facebook advertising? Kind of crazy. But there are a couple of stats that are coming out. So during the whole GM story, Facebook IPO week, Facebook couldn't actually defend the advertising business because of the quiet period.
Right?
Yeah. So recently, the quiet period was lifted, and they released a study that they commissioned with ComScore about the effectiveness of Facebook advertising. And they found that the report concluded that being a fan of a brand on Facebook increased your likelihood to purchase from that brand more frequently.
So in other words, if I'm a fan, I may go from the 12-ounce can to the big gulp, is really what you're saying.
Or maybe you'll have like 3 of the cans in a day.
Right,
Yes.
but not in New York City because no more sugary beverages there.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story.
Next week, tune in. Well, of course, this is really important for Facebook. 85% of their revenue comes from advertising. Last year, it was $3.1 billion just from ad revenue.
Significant.
Yeah. So overall, brands are making a bet that Facebook advertising efforts actually work, even though not all of the analytics are in place. And so that's our marketing takeaway. In some cases, the analytics still need to catch up, but no matter what, still know what your goals are because that will drive what your strategy is, and have some analytics in place because you've got to have something to know whether or not it's working.
So on this same theme, Ellie, I think you've got something else to share with us about advertising, this time with Google Mobile. This one's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think we'll spend a little bit more time on this one.
So some exciting stuff happening from Google. They updated their interface for local maps advertising.
If you haven't seen this yet, it's really cool. Basically, it gives you a much easier interface with how to find things nearby.
So the idea, so there are a couple of cool things. So one is more prominent and clickable calls to action for things like click to call or get directions. Also better markers so that you know exactly how far you are from a particular location. And also the ability to browse that advertiser's site just from within the app, which just makes it a lot easier to navigate around and find what you're looking for.
Now the stalk factor on this one's a lot lower, right?
Well, yeah, it's companies. They actually do want to get found. Me, while I'm out, I might not want the random guy at the bar to come home, like,
why not?
connect with me on Facebook.
I don't understand.
I don't know who that is.
Well, that's opportunity.
Maybe a little too much too fast. Right? You've got to start at the top of the funnel and work your way down.
I see.
Yeah.
The dating funnel.
Yes.
Curious.
So they made this redesign, and already just through the initial test, they found that the click-through rates on these ads are increasing 100%.
100% is significant.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. The interface is really cool. Like, you don't go from the app to a different website. It all stays self-contained. So it's much smoother and a lot faster.
Yeah. And they found, so they included a case study in this story about T-Mobile, who's using these, they're calling them mobile location extensions. It's something that you can enable in AdWords. And they've been using it to try to catch people towards the middle of the funnel. You know, they're ready to make a purchase. If they're on their phone, they're looking for a location, they're probably ready to buy. So they're trying to catch people at that stage. And they've already, through this extension, gotten 160,000 clicks and a click-through rate of 13%.
And 13% is significant on an ad campaign like that, because
Yeah.
typically you're running maybe 1 to 2% at best. Who's tweeting at us, Ellie?
We got a tweet coming from Artillery Market. Don't hot women notice Andrew Quinn anyway because of his band Wild Side Rock?
Of course they do.
Yes.
Regionally famous.
Yes. So some good stuff. So, you know, the takeaway here is the more you can customize an experience to the way people are consuming information, the better results you'll get. You know, think about if someone's trying to interact with you on mobile or on your desktop or in other ways, and try to optimize that experience because you'll get better results.
It's an excellent point, Ellie. Let's get on to the, I think, what is arguably the strangest story of the week.
In fact, it's our marketing fail of the week.
Yes, indeed. So Fox News, that bastion of conservatism, has actually launched a women's lifestyle magazine.
Only natural, right?
Online women's lifestyle magazine. It's actually at magazine.foxnews.com. And I think, all right, here's a media outlet that really is famous for Glenn Beck, right? Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, all guys that know lots about women.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and they're really just sort of, you know, obviously very liberal in their views and all those kinds of things. So obviously we're here at the People's Republic of Cambridge. We tend to be a little more left-leaning in certain respects. But this thing, honestly, I was looking at it and I felt insulted, and not as a woman, which I'm not. It was amazing how bizarre this thing is. So a couple of the headlines that jumped out at me. One was, how to get rid of your dreaded turkey neck. Now, that's a great women's story right there, whatever that is. Another one, 5 qualities men look for in a wife. Good story. Dr. Phil on your spouse's weight gain. That's what I'm always looking for. It's just, it was the most random thing I've ever seen. What's odd is the articles, right? They're written in 18-point type. So I'm looking at these, and they're enormous type, and they're kind of following inbound marketing best practices, right?
Lots of numbers.
Top 5 this, top 4 that. Another one, best place for single moms to meet men. Ellie, what do you think one of those might be?
I don't know, like the grocery store?
Grocery store wasn't on the list.
Okay, what was?
Online dating was on the list.
Of course,
fairly
yes.
obvious. Another was get set up. All right, those two are fairly obvious. Now, it was the top 3 best places. So the other, of course, was golf shops and driving ranges. So what I can envision now is I'm, you know, sitting there in the pro shop, and some young single mom says, "It's a nice club you've got there."
The follow-up story has to be top 10 golf-related pickup lines.
Right, and I'm imagining balls are going to be involved in that in some way. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud, Ellie? Very inappropriate. So this one, though, really set the stage for me, and this was the top 10 pranks that will spice up your relationship. And again, this is from Fox News and their new women's magazine, all about things women apparently dig. So this was all about ways to spice up the relationship, and it really was little pranks you could play to get your significant other to be more, I guess, in love with you. One of them was putting tape on the bottom of his mouse so that while he's mousing around, it doesn't work, right? Because the laser's not working, and then you write on the tape, "Gotcha."
That's exactly what you need to spice up.
Exactly. I would be thrilled if my wife did that for me. I'd be like, my relationship's awesome. Another one is stuffing his shoes with newspaper and then write "surprise" on every single one because he can't get his feet in his shoes.
I like that the writing is like a big part of both of those pranks.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So another one was super gluing a coin to the floor and watching him try to scratch it off. Always a fabulous opportunity for comedy in my house.
The thing is, these suggestions make me think that it's a 10-year-old boy who's like, "Ooh, this is going to be great."
Do you know how just pissed off I would be if my wife glued a coin to my hardwood floor and then I had to remove it? I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
But my favorite, and this one's a little bit elaborate. So this recommendation was take a picture of your toilet through the bathroom door on your digital camera. Then wait for your significant other to go to the restroom. At that point, take the camera, quickly connect it to the TV, and put the picture. And this is legit, by the way. This is in the magazine. It's a real party article.
Tip that you can take.
Get the picture up on the screen of the TV, so when he returns, you can point to the picture and go, "Ha ha ha! I saw you." I don't see any way that is going to make my relationship any more interesting unless things were really weird in my house.
I guess it maybe works for a very particular kind of relationship.
Yeah, but I mean, somebody actually sat down and dreamt up this top 10 list and said, women would really dig this, and we'll put this into action.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, this is completely serious. I looked all over the place to try and find if this was a parody, some kind of fake thing. This is the legit deal. Like, Fox News is trying to broaden its reach. It's just bizarre. I mean, it's got WTF written all over it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So the marketing takeaway from here basically is it is cool to be controversial with your content. It just doesn't make sense to be stupid.
Yeah.
So with that, Ellie, what's our big marketing tip of the week?
Well, we've gotten a lot of stupid and kind of creepy stories, so that's our marketing tip of the week. Customization can do a lot for improving your marketing effectiveness, but be careful not to cross the line into creepy, because it will have the opposite effect and drive people away.
Nobody likes creeps.
No. You don't want to be that creep.
This brings us to the end of Marketing Update. Did you have a good week? What happened? Anything exciting planned for the weekend?
I did. So we had a great week. We had our first marketing hack night that we've had in a long time.
That's cool.
It was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of people from across the company. We got together. We broke up into teams, and we cranked out a bunch of awesome marketing campaigns.
Sounds hackerific.
Yeah, it was great. We were here until close to midnight. It was awesome. Exhausting, but awesome.
Fantastic.
How about you?
Well, we had a very busy week because we had to get prepared for the fact that we've got 30 brand new HubSpotters starting on Monday. Things are growing very fast here, so we had to reconfigure our training facility and get all ready for 30 new folks who are going to help us, again, spread the word of inbound marketing around the world. So very exciting times here.
So it'll be a big audience next week, hopefully.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
it's mandatory that they go.
That's how we get our audience. We force new hires.
All the new folks.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, join
Hope
us
you guys
next
had a
week.
great week. Bye-bye.